Hi sweeties, my name is Sierra. Thank you so much for clicking on this video and welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be kind of a casual, sit down, stretch it out, spiritual chat. I don't know, I've had this idea for quite a while now to just put up the camera, talk to you like I'm talking to a friend, and we're calling it FaceTime Flow. So, if you feel called to, if you feel like you need a little flow, like you need a little stretch, please roll out your mat, get any props that you might have. I have 2 blocks, I have a bolster, and I have a rolled up blanket. I don't really know what we'll get into. I know that I'm feeling a little blocked up in my chest and my shoulders. I've been doing a little bit too much of this. So, if you too have been feeling like that, come join me on your mat. This isn't going to be like a formal yoga class. I am a yoga teacher, but I'm not going to be explaining every step of the way. It's going to be more of a chat. But if you want to follow along, please do. And please adapt the stretches, adapt whatever I'm doing to however your body's feeling today. If you need to have a sit-down stretch, a little couch yoga, a little chair yoga, that's perfect. If you need to have no stretch and you just want to watch, you're welcome here too. So my intention for this video is really to just capture my feelings and thoughts about really why I left spirituality and why I took a break from it all. I'm also going to talk about kind of what triggered me to leave and what is triggering me to get back to it. I guess you could call it a trigger, even if it's a positive thing. So 2 years ago, well, no, 3 years ago, I broke my right ankle and my left elbow at the same time. It's a long story, but the short end is I fell off of a stage. No, I wasn't performing. No, I wasn't doing anything cool. Literally just not paying attention. And broke clean through my ankle and a little tiny bone in my elbow from trying to catch myself. And I spent a long time trying to heal from that. Really, I spent the whole rest of 2021 healing from that physically as well as emotionally. So like I said, all of that was in 2021, and it was right before I turned 21, graduated college, and everything. I literally could not walk across the stage at my graduation, not only because it was kind of COVID times, but because I just couldn't walk. I was in a boot, I was in a wheelchair for so long. It was really a sick time in my life, and by sick I don't mean cool. I mean, I was literally sick in the head, in the body, and all of that led me on a really great healing journey, honestly. In January of 2022, I finally felt physically healed enough, and I just felt called to Peru. I had been there before and wanted to go back again, and just so happened that there was a yoga teacher training happening, so I decided that it was a sign, and I went, and I loved it. Completed my 200-hour yoga teacher training there. And then when I came back to Florida, I tried to start a small studio here, but unfortunately I just found it to be like the wrong area really to try and do that. I'm actually gonna use my bolster to support my malasana so I can sit here and talk to you guys for a little bit longer about this, because this is really where I started to turn away from my spirituality after I felt so deeply connected to it. You know, I was a new yoga teacher, starting my own studio, full of fresh ideas, full of, you know, the passion to share and to teach, and I needed more money than I had. And I just needed a more consistent form of income, so I got a job at a chiropractic clinic, and I had experience doing this as an intern in college, but those bosses were way cooler than these ones. The clinic that I worked for was run by a singular chiropractor doctor and his wife, who was the office manager. And there were 3 other coworkers that I had that were also older women. I was the youngest one there by far, and that immediately singled me out. They seemingly just didn't like me from the start, and also just had things to say about literally everything that I did, every ounce of personality that I showed. And honestly, I feel like it really triggered a lot of things within me working there. Not only did it trigger like an inner child wound of feeling bullied and othered for being kind of weird, being the weird kid in school. I don't know if you can believe it. But anyways, just like how I was about to graduate from college, about to, you know, start my new life there. Well, I stood up too fast, hold on. And forward fold, and halfway lift. That's better, yes. Oh, I also wanted to mention, the weather outside has got me feeling very demure, very mindful, very reflective. So, I feel like that's honestly the main reason I'm filming this video right now. But anyways, let's get back on track. Okay. Oh, my shoulder just popped. Oh, God. Okay, let's get back on track, shall we? That environment that I literally had to go to every single day was just so icky and so, how do you say, traumatizing. Eventually, after so much, you know, commenting and just gross energy and judgment being projected onto you, you just stop showing yourself, you know? And for me, unfortunately, I stopped showing myself not only at the job when I was clocked in, but also at home. You know, I didn't have that switch it off. Even when I was at home, when I was away from these people, away from that environment, it had like a hold over me. I literally just became a whole different person. Like within 2 months, I went from feeling connected to myself, feeling connected to spirit, to literally becoming like a road rage monster. And I don't know who that was. But I really think that I was just kind of not protecting myself from their projections of me because I was scared to, I guess, make their perceptions of me true. I don't know if that makes sense at all. And honestly, I feel like I am preaching to the choir. Like, I feel like all I'm seeing in the online spaces that I'm in recently, which that's a whole nother topic of the biases of the social media bubbles that we're in. This video is not about that. I guess where I was going with that is I know I'm preaching to the choir because everybody is feeling the pressure of late stage capitalism and, you know, feeling like we have to betray our humanity and our selves, literally, in order to just like feed ourselves, all because we were born into a system that feeds itself. But then when you raise the question of what happens when I don't want to feed that system or that machine, one that I don't even like the outcome of, Instead, what if I wanted to feed myself and my loved ones and my community, because those are the things that feed me at the end of the day. I don't really know what I was talking about, but I do know that I wasn't disappointing myself in leaving that job, and I wasn't even really disappointing, or I guess others weren't really disappointed in me either, because all they were really disappointed in was the version of me or the reflection of me that they made in their head, So I feel really lucky to, have had a partner to lean on during that hard time and to heal with from that very, very traumatic workplace. But during that time, I feel like we built a really solid and healthy foundation, We built 2 businesses, Sticky Ickies and JS Design. Check them out down below. But I really think that I needed that kind of break from spirituality in order to come down to reality and ground myself, build those businesses. And it allowed me to be completely focused on my human experience and experiencing that experience. Being fully present in the struggles that I was going through, the feelings that I was holding. But it also allowed me time to reflect on my time with spirituality, and not that my time with spirituality ever necessarily ended, because I know that even when you feel disconnected from spirit and when you think that the connection's not there, it's just timing, it's just the universe. So here's where we get into the actual lessons. Yes, you create your own reality, but that also means that you can base your reality not in reality. I don't know if that makes sense at all to anybody else, but it makes sense to me. I feel like in those periods of trauma, I was not grounded in the reality that I wanted to be in. I was grounded in the reality that everyone else was in and that everyone else was projecting onto me. And I recently heard a quote, I think that it was in one of the Autistic Mystic readings for my sign for one of the past few months. Don't take advice from people who aren't in a position that you want to be in. And similarly, in that vein, I think that you should not take on projections from people who are not in the space or in a place that you want to be in. You know, if people's projections are not coming from a healthy place, if they are coming from a wounded place, that is none of your business to hold. Oof. Y'all, my hips are really not happy today. Oh my gosh. Decrease. Oh no, but it still hurts. Alright, I think that we're gonna skip that one. Another thing that I learned during my break from spirituality is really how to communicate better. I feel like before, my break from spirituality, if you want to call it that. I guess I do want to call it that because that's what I've been calling it this whole time. Before, I would feel like I was really stuck in a freeze state, I wasn't grounded, like I was saying a little bit earlier, and any conversation that I had that was a little bit uncomfortable, I would literally just walk away and stop talking. And don't get me wrong, there is power in that, and there is a place and time in which you just can't waste your energy, and even the best communication methods would not change whoever you're talking to. It wouldn't change their mind, and in that situation you do just need to get up and walk away. But in conversations and situations with loved ones, those uncomfortable conversations are really what deepen and strengthen the relationship. Having someone in your life that you value so much that even if there is, oh y'all, this thunder. Now that hip is feeling a little happier, maybe I can try this again. Let's see. Oh yeah. Oh, much better. Much better. Don't be afraid to revisit poses, y'all. If it hurt before, try it on the other side. See how it feels again. Afterwards, you might be surprised. Anyways, having those uncomfortable and hard conversations with people you love will only strengthen that relationship at the end of the day. And if an uncomfortable conversation doesn't strengthen a relationship and instead damages it, it kind of shows you what you need to know about that relationship. The last lesson that I really wanted to talk about was my discipline and my satisfaction are very much intrinsic. I remember in school learning about, intrinsic versus extrinsic motivation, I think it was, and not really understanding the concept, but I've been thinking about that a lot recently. And honestly, I've just found my intrinsic satisfaction, or I guess the satisfaction that I get from doing things intrinsically. I really don't know if I'm making sense at all, y'all. I'm sorry. Well, I guess I'm gonna need that. I guess what I'm trying to say is that my most powerful discipline and my most satisfying satisfaction comes from within and not external circumstances. Like recently, I went through, honestly, a pretty traumatic couple of months. In April of this year, we very unexpectedly lost a family pet that was, very near and dear to all of us, but it was the way that they passed that was just so unexpected and traumatic. And then in May, unfortunately, I got unexpectedly fired from a really consistent and well-paying gig that I had for many months. And then in June, one of my close family members was in the ICU and the ER after a heart surgery. So all of those traumatic events really opened my eyes to how disconnected to spirit I felt. I caught myself getting so caught up in, other people's judgments of me once again. I found myself getting caught up in the people around me and the environment that they've created here in this place that I live, and doom scrolling, just learning about the next horrible thing and then the next horrible thing, and then just kind of trying to block it out. It's so hard, and I'm sure a lot of you can relate to that. And honestly, that really was my hope and intention with this video, is sharing these thoughts that I've been having, these reflections that I've been having, and hoping that other people in the collective are feeling the same thing. Not because I hope you all are feeling bad or anything, but I hope that you can relate to what I'm saying, and I hope that you can resonate with this video, even if it was something weird that I said. I hope that you enjoyed this video. I just wanted to share a little bit of my journey and a little bit of my experience, and hope that you can relate. And with that, I guess I will wish you a very good day or night wherever you are. If you resonated with any part of this video, please click the like down below. It would mean so much to me, and subscribe for more content. But until next time, see you, sweeties.